There we go.
Oh, took the words right out of my mouth.
So if you have any questions you would like for me to cover, now is the time to let me know. So just chime in and give me your question. Anybody? Nope. Okay, then we will start. So if everyone has muted themselves, we will start with our initial training. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you where to go to get your training. So the first one we have here is our master, and it's found at http://RR247.com master, as you can see right here. I'm actually going to copy that and put it in the chat. And this is actually a step-by-step on how to modify your anchor offers. Anyone that gets in as a brand new student, that is the first thing we want you to do, is to modify your anchor pages. So you want to go here where it has your help guide. That is basically a step-by-step on what you need to do. It has some videos in there, some initial training steps on what you can do on how to initialize and get signed up for different things. One of them, he actually has a video on how to set up your Coinbase. Someone else was asking me about that, on how to do that. Some of the videos have not been changed from Direct Sellers, which is our old wine company, so just ignore the actual video, but watch the training. It's basically the same thing. The Blogging for Cash Rory series, some of that has changed and updated. Some of it has still stayed the same. So take what you can from those and use them. Then you want to come down to A, B, and C, and you want to do them in order. It has your anchor offers, which starts with your wine. If you're not in the wine program as of yet, don't worry about putting a link in. Just get your pages modified with your wording and your content. You can always come back and put a link in later. Or if you have your instructor's link, use it if you want to. But for the most part, you don't really have to put a link in there. Just get your pages modified. And it shows you the different pages that you want to modify. It tells you your fine wines, and there's a video for most of them that Paul or Rory is doing that shows you how to go step by step to modify those pages. Then you get to the end of it, and then it jumps from there. Don't worry about the VIP unless you are a VIP. Some people will say, well, how do I know if I'm a VIP? If you paid an extra $500 or $600 to get in the VIP program, then you know you're a VIP. You will have a different password to go into different parts of the training. So if you have not signed up for VIP, don't worry about it. Don't worry about that training for that. You just want to do the basic PBS.
Sheila, I have a question.
Yes.
So when say you've got your page complete, you published it, and then plus you went in and advertised it in classifieds for free. Can you go back in to your page and edit anything on there?
Yes, if you've the only thing is, once you've modified the page and published it and you started advertising it, you cannot change your keyword for that particular page. Now you can go in and change the content in it. You can rearrange it. You can actually go in and basically do anything with that page other than change the title and the content of that page. I mean, the keyword word. And the reason being is because you've advertised it with that title and with that key phrase. So if you change it, then all your ads will bring them to a page not found.
Okay.
So if you, I change my wording all the time in some of my content whenever I come out with some new stuff or get a new idea on how to make that page better. Hold on, somebody's got something in the background that's bleeding through. Yeah, thank you. So if you change the verbiage in an existing content, that's fine. But if you have advertised that page, put it on social media, put it on classifieds and your free ad sites, then you cannot change the title and you cannot change the key phrase. It will bring them to a page not found. Now, if you have an idea that you want to use with that same one, then and you feel that you found a better key phrase, then create a new page with the new key phrase. That way you don't lose the marketing that you have already established with that page, and you don't lose anything with Google. You don't ever want to have a page not found on a Google search. That kind of brings up a red flag with Google. But if you haven't advertised the page, that's totally different. A published page is not an advertised page. A published page just means it's available on your website for people to search. So if you just have it published, you can go in and still modify the key phrase. You can still go in and change the title. You can do anything just like if it was a brand new page. Only once you start advertising does that come into effect where you can't change that title and that key phrase.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? You're very welcome. So once you get through here, then it changes to your Valentis, which is our second offer. These are our 2 paid offers, and they have video on how to go through and change and modify each page. Just remember, these are suggestions on how to do it, basically instructions. That doesn't mean you need to use their words verbatim. You still want to make sure that you make this website your website. You want to put it into your words. They're basically showing you how to change the block. If it's in a classic block, change it to a regular block, how to incorporate blocks, how to change the verbiage around. Again, if you are not in any of these programs, you don't have to link it. You can take the link out. The only thing we want to make sure is that you have your content in there, that your content is updated. So once you go through the master, and you come down here and say you have all your pages modified, then you want to get with your instructor and sign up for your V-marketing. Whether you're in Valentis or not, you still want to sign up for your V-marketing so that you can get some traffic coming to your website, so that you can get potential customers into your V-marketing, and give you the option to get started with that. Okay, and then it also talks about the IBO program. Not everybody qualifies for this. We try to make sure everybody can qualify for it, but not everybody does. But Rory actually has the program in here explaining how it works. This is John Bond. He actually helps Rory incorporate the IBO program, and they both talk about the program itself, what it entails. But again, like I said, he set it up, but not everybody qualifies. There are contingent instructions on who qualifies and who doesn't. But they have opened up slots for that. So get with your instructor to see if you qualify. We actually have a board that we put people on, and then they go through and determine the qualifications. They'll give you a phone call, ask you for some information. If you are not there to answer the phone call, they will leave you a message letting you know who they are, why they're calling, and a callback number. If you don't call them back, they will remove you from the program and say, this person weren't interested, and we'll get an email or a notification in our Trello saying they couldn't contact you, and they're removing you off the board. That don't mean that we can't put you back on at a later date to be reconsidered, but just remember, most of the time it will be Sarah. I think her name's Sarah. There's another gentleman that's calling too. I can't remember what his name is, but they will leave you a number and they'll tell you who they're associated with. And usually it was with Rory with the IBO program or the marketing program, merchant referral program, and they'll leave a callback number and just call them back and answer their questions. So once you get through with all of that, you don't need to do this one, the advanced V-marketing. You don't need to do that until you are ready, and your instructor will tell you when you're ready. And then you want to go to the PBS, the standard PBS. If you are VIP, you are VIP, you're working with one of our VIP instructors. They will give you the password and everything you need for this. Most of you will go straight to the standard PBS, and this takes you to the standard PBS training. So you want to go through that. You want to click on here and listen to this training. It's a training from Rory that explains what we're doing for PBS, how he wants to market, how you should be marketing. So it's a good basic overview of what our PBS entails. Then if you have not already done it, you want to register with Rory for emails. He will send you emails on our Tuesday night training, for our Wednesday night training. For any updates that we have that's coming up, any new things, he will send you that in an email. Always look in your spam first. If you've never received emails from Rory, look in your spam or your junk mail for that email, confirm it, and then move it out of your spam into your regular email so that you will see it every time it comes in. And then you want to listen to this. Here again is another video that Rory's going to be able to go through to tell you all the different things. You should already have done this, right? Like I said, this still says direct sellers. Right now we're in Wine Ambassador. So you should have done this in your master, which is done all your web pages for your wine and your Valentis. And then you want to come down here, and this is where a lot of people get lost, because then it's like, where do I go now? I got all these stuff done. I've started with my V marketing, and you forget about the rest of your website. So you want to make sure that you start with step 2. And step 2 are your other affiliate programs that you need to work with. So you want to make sure that you register with ClickBank, Brunette Marketing, and CJ.com. These are your 3 major ones that you will be using throughout your web system. You have pages dedicated already to all of these markets. So you want to register with those with these companies first, and then you want to start with your second group. Once you've registered with the first group, start with group 2. Now this group 2, you need your instructor's referral link before you can register with them. You have your RoboForm, your computer, your Coinbase, which there's a video for that on the first master's training, your Excel trip, your stake base. Sephora is your travel program, so you need to make sure you get all of these have your instructor's links for referral. And then your 7 and 8 are your Anchor Offer 1, which is your Wine Ambassador, and your Anchor Offer 2, which is your Valentis. So you make sure you are aware of those. And then he has, the training information for our Tuesday night calls, and he has the Zoom link that you can go to. If you just click on this link, it will take you straight in. You don't really need this ID number. If you do, usually the first time you have to click it in, it'll be fine after that. But if you click on this webinar.com, it should take you straight into Zoom. But make sure you've downloaded the Zoom app first, so that you can set everything up. This is also the same link that you will use for our Wednesday night call. It's just a half-hour difference. Instead of 9 p.m. Eastern time, it's at 8:30 for our wine and dine call. All right, so then once you come through here, then it starts breaking down your pages per category. So you have your arts and entertainment. So you want to try and follow this map. Some of you might still have Crafting with Tanya. Some of you may not have it. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. If you do have it, all you need to do is modify the page. There's no links in there. If you want to put a link for crafting, like I have Red Hearts, which is yarn. I also have, some more different crocheting and different things like that I can use in the Crafting with Tanya. So depending on what affiliate links that you have access to determines whether or not you're going to put links in there. But for the main part, we want to make sure that you are modifying your pages. So, and then it comes down to the blockchain. A lot of people have issues with this because it's a fairly new concept and not everybody is familiar with it. So some people leave it for last. That's totally up to you. However you want to do it. Just remember to make note that you have not done this when you go back to do it. And then you have your clothing. And your computers, and some of them will have videos that you can watch on how to modify the page. Some of them will not. So, but it does have each category listed and the page that should be there. Some of them will tell you where to go to get it. Like this one says it's under Brunette Marketing. Free Bitcoin is your computer link. Free stuff, it's found in ClickBank. So it will tell you all your different anchors, like your health and fitness. This should all be already done because this is mostly your anchor offer number 2, which is your Valentis product. And then your opium free is just a free page for information on opiate-free materials or opiate-free products. You can find your own information to put in there if you want to, or modify the pages that are there, or you can put it in draft. It really depends on how you want to do it. So this is basically a map of your website and the different products that are there and where you can find them. If you have any issues on not knowing where to find something or you can't find it, get with your instructor and they'll be able to tell you or send you the site link map of our new valid programs. Some of them we don't have anymore, like this vertical jump It's not there anymore. Epic Soccer, I don't think it's there anymore. This one comes and goes, the concealed to carry. It comes and goes. It's found on ClickBank.
Sheila,
Yes.
We lost about 2 or 3 sentences.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm the only one, but what'd she say? Okay.
Okay. So if y'all can't hear me, let me know. I'm not showing where I'm losing connection, so it could be.
That's what it is, losing connections.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello? Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just reading some stuff.
You're not humming.
No, I was reading. I told you I've been lost all day because I got so much in my head. I've been trying to clean Christmas out of my house, and my granddaughter keeps not wanting me to, because she likes, especially my Christmas village. She's like, Mama, don't take the little houses down. So my Christmas village is still up. And she asked me, was it yesterday? Yeah, no, went Tuesday. No, Thursday. She asked me Thursday, she's like, Mama, why are these glasses in our village? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm trying to get it ready, set up and do a Valentine's scene. So I have these cute little Valentine's glasses that say "Be My Wine," and it's got hearts with wine glasses and stuff in it. And I was going to do a nice little Valentine's scene on it, and she won't let me take the Christmas village down. And she had her little hands on her hips, and she was all upset, that these glasses didn't fit in our village. So, and I was like, well, we're going to take that down and put another one up. And then she started crying, and I was like, so she's 4, but she still likes Christmas. So, and I'm just trying to find places to put stuff. And I told my son, I said, did you find a house yet? But yeah, it's just a mess at my house. Yeah, if you see my YouTube video for my wine opening, or even if you're on the Wine Ambassador, I did my wine opening for Christmas, and my village was my background. So that's one of them. I usually have about 3. We can't eat on our table because I have a village. We can't eat at our bar because I have a village, and then my coffee table has a village. So I collect Christmas villages. And then Lowe's this year had a Carrolltown. It was called Carrolltown. It's based on one of Charles Dickens's, can't think of the name of the story that he did. But the village was a replica of one of the scenes in one of his books. So of course I had to go buy it because I'm a huge Charles Dickens fan. So I still have that one in my truck because I don't want my husband to see it. Because I have nowhere to put it, but it was beautiful, so I had to buy it. so yeah, I'm a constant. I'm always looking for stuff. When we go to Myrtle Beach, I always go to the Christmas Village store there and look, because I always like to find unique pieces. Most of the time it's pieces that they don't sell anymore. So I always try to find just that one unique piece that might just offset my village that I already have, that I just have to have. I need it. So that's me. I'm always looking for different things. But this is how you can go through, like I said, click on that master if you get lost and you're like, where do I go to next? Especially if you don't have direct access to your instructor, or they can't get with you for a little bit. Work on your own. Grab this link, the master link that I put in the website in your chat, and just work from there. If you're not sure if you have changed all your pages out, just go back and double check and look through them. They have all the pages here listed that you need to do first before you get into your V-marketing. And then once you get in V-marketing, you're not done. I've found a lot of students, they start their V-marketing and they don't go back to their pages. They don't go back to the website to finish it. So once you get to that V-marketing, you want to come down here and start, and then go to your RRR training and go to section 2, step 2. And make sure that you start with these group 1 and group 2, and then start with the pages in your categories. That to me is the easiest way to do it. And then if you have any questions about a page that you're modifying and you can't get to it, don't get stuck with it. Go to the next one, you know, and keep working. And then just give me a shout out on Saturdays when we do class and say, hey, you know, I got a question about this page. We'll pull it up and work on it, you know, or I'll answer it to the best of my abilities to make sure that you don't, you know, continue to stay on that one page. But if you get stuck on one page, don't let it deter you. Just go ahead and put it back in draft mode or go ahead and republish it and go to your next step. Just continue working on your site. And like I said, don't really worry about getting your links. Just make sure you've registered for all of them. And then just work on your content. You can always come back and put your links. Once you get used to changing and modifying your pages and getting them up and running, it makes it a lot easier to come back and insert a link or insert a picture. But get your content done first. It takes a huge weight off of you once you know your page is finished as far as the content goes. So I just wanted to go over that so everyone would know where to go and look for different things on how to, you know, get your system up and running. So do we have any questions on what we went over so far? And if you don't have, for whatever reason, make sure if you don't have any sound, make sure that you're using your computer audio if you have to, or if you have a headset in, make sure your computer is reading your headset. If you have a headset on, just take it out and use your computer. Make sure your sound's cut up and it will come through on your computer speakers.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Because I did that one time. I had a set of headphones, and I don't know why, but my computer would not recognize them. I'd unplug them and could hear everything, but as soon as I plugged them in, it was just dead, and it was just a bad headset. So it happens sometimes, but yeah, just make sure that all that is taken care of. So.
Well, right now, the computer audio isn't working, but the headset is, so I'm going to worry about that later and fix it when I can.
Yep.
At least I can hear you on my headset.
Good job. All right, so hold on just a minute. I got a student that needs to get in the class.
You sure that's not me?
No, you're here. All right, so there. All right, so what I was going to do today, last week we worked on a page that I had just come up with on Valentine's. And it was the history of Valentine's Day. I think that was the one I did. I'm not sure. But this week, you know, I got to thinking about different things that I wanted to do. And like I said, I always put my ideas in draft. And I've had people's like, you know, asking, well, how do you do that? So I always open up a web page or open up my website and I go to new and I just go to page. Make sure you always go to page, make sure it's highlighted. And I click on page. And if I have an idea, I just type my idea down, just like you would if you were in school when you had to write a paper for English class, you know, and I write it down. And like this one I've been thinking about. You know, for the new year. And then I just hit draft. And once I hit draft, it saves it in draft. I haven't put a key phrase in. I haven't done any paragraph, but my idea is down on paper so that I can always come back and refresh it. And then if I want to see what my drafts are, I just click on all pages. And as you can see here, you have where you have all pages, your published pages, your drafts, your trash, and your cornerstone. I don't worry about a cornerstone. There's no even need to worry about that. Don't even think about it. I have one in trash because I know we're not going to use it, and it was a direct sellers banners. We're not even going to use direct sellers anymore. So I've got that in trash. After 30 days, it'll go away. And then I go to my drafts. Now, these are all the pages that either I put in draft because the content changed and I don't like what's out there, or it's a new idea that I have that I am trying to write about. If it doesn't have anything in here, That means I don't have a key phrase. It's mostly just an idea that I wrote down. Some of them you will see has key phrases already in there. This is one that we had and was working on. It was actually a site in our system, and they come through and said, hey, we want you to guarantee that you're going to make us $1,200 a month before we give you an affiliate. And we was like, So we got this in draft. There's a couple of other companies out there that I'm trying to get affiliates with that I think I can modify that. This company here also went away. They didn't come back. I have my Crafton and Tanya in draft, but I think I'm going to put it back out there in a bit because I have some more stuff that I can put with it. So this is all stuff that on a day that I can't really think of what I want to write about, I can always pull up my drafts and I have some ideas that I can work on, and it will trigger, you know, my thought process on what I wanted to write down and what I wanted to do. So I've actually pulled up one that I was working on this week, and it was why make New Year's resolutions. And I got this because I was listening to my husband talk about being in the gym and talking about how the gym is so full now. And he's like, I have to wait on equipment. You know, he goes religiously 4 days a week, sometimes 5. And he's there and he knows, you know, the traffic flow pretty much. And so now this time of the year, it's like he goes, and no matter what time he goes, it's packed full of people. He can't get, and he's waiting, and it's kind of frustrating for him. But then again, he's like, well, I know, give it another 6 weeks and it'll be back the way it normally is. So it kind of triggered this idea in my head, you know, why do we even make New Year's resolutions? So I started writing, you know, just basic ideas down, or I wrote the title down and just started writing my paragraph. So I'm going to show you how I go about on certain things, what I want to talk about. So I already know that I want to create a headline. So I will scroll over here, and you want to get this little plus sign that's supposed to show up. It shows up there, but I want it to show up down here. And if it doesn't, then I just hit this plus sign, and I want to hit heading, and it will put a heading up here. Now, the good thing about the headings is that now you actually have a color that you can select if you've done all your updates. So make sure you've done all your updates, and you can select a heading. And I usually like to use a heading 3. You only use a heading 1 for your title. Anything else is good in your when you're writing a page. So I'm going to put my various titles that I know I want to write about. So I'm going to write number 1. What's the one thing everybody wants to do first of the year? They want to lose weight. Okay. So then the next thing people want to do, and I'm just going to click my header, change my color, is they want to all right, then my next one is they want to make sure I put this. And I'm just typing these ideas, and I'll show you how I can arrange them as soon as I get them all down. Ooh, excuse you. All right, so my next one, get married, start a family. And then the biggest,
how about something like better friendships, learning to be a better friend. I don't know.
Yep, you can do anything. This is just, I'm gonna be using this just for training today. Like I said, I always will come back and add more stuff. And I'm putting this one as a biggie. It's going to be in a bigger heading. Get out of debt. I want that to be first. So now that I'm looking at it, I kind of see a flow that I want. So the big thing is let's move Get healthy. I'm going to move this one up. So you just hit these arrows and you can position this title. So I want to put get healthy, and then I also want to make sure I change that color. And so we're going to say get healthy, get married, start a family. Again, I forgot to change my color. And you can customize your colors. Say you want a different shade of purple. So you just hit your purple shade. And then you can move your cursor around and then hit enter. And then you can change your color. And then you've added a different color to your scheme. So you can play around with your colors, get it the way you want. I want this to be a different shade of green. So I'm going to do the same thing. Customize my color. I want it more of a forest green. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So now I have them in the order that I wanted to. People always talk about they want to lose weight, they want to get healthy, they want to, you know, maybe get married, start a family. And the biggest thing everybody talks about is get out of debt. And the reason I have get out of debt is last is because I want to tie in getting out of debt. I already have the idea in my head. Getting out of debt, working with our PBS, getting into our anchor offers. So I already know where this wants to go. So now that I basically have my ideas on how I want my page to flow, then I can just start typing. So I hit my block button, and say you don't know what kind of block you want to use. So my most used blocks, you can see the ones I use all the time is my paragraph block is my basic block. You have your headers, your image, your classic. If you're not using your system every day, you won't have these, or yours might be different than mine. But say you don't see the image or the block you want to use, then you scroll down and you have common blocks. This is blocks that everybody uses at one point in time. And then you have your formatting. Your formatting is where you're going to find your classic block, which is the one that I love to use. You're also going to find your HTML code, which is where you would put in like a video or a YouTube video if you have one, things like that. And then you have your layouts. If you wanted to put a button in which says click, you know, press this button or click this button or whatever, or shop now or things like that. You have columns. If you wanted to put columns like a comparison chart, you could do that. Page breaks. If you are writing a big, long, drawn out page and you want it to break into sections on that page, you can do that. So you have different things. You have your media and text block. This is a good one if you have a really short paragraph and a small picture you want to put with it. This is a great tool to use or great block to use. Just remember that the picture cannot be linked in the media and text, so therefore you would need to use your comment section on your picture to link it. So you have your different ones. The widgets, if you wanted to put like a widget in there, you could. If you're not sure what a widget is, don't worry about it. Same thing with embeds. If you want to send them to a YouTube video or send them to your own YouTube channel, you can put that in there. Same thing with Facebook. If you want to link them to your Facebook page, your Instagram page, you can put that in there. If you're not sure how to use it, don't use it. It just makes it a little bit more difficult. These two you don't need to worry about because you shouldn't be reusing a block. Every block should be unique and different. Reusable means that if you have a particular paragraph that you want to use all the time or that you feel like you use all the time, you can actually set that block up that way. But with Google and getting Google AdSense, they don't want you to be repetitive. So you don't really want to use that block.
Okay. Sheila, with the YouTube, does that automatically bring you back to your blog? No. Or is there something else you have to do?
No. Once you use these down here, these embeds, it takes them straight to your page. You don't have the option to open it in a new page.
Okay.
So yeah. So if you're sending them to a YouTube video that is not associated with you personally, just remember that they won't be able to come back to your page from that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I know that I want to use classic in this. So I'm going to close all these off. And I'm going to pull up my classic block. And as you can see already, it looks different. So I'm going to start out with the paragraph. I already have my weight loss, and I'm just going to type and I usually type about what I know. Okay, if I lose you, I'm sorry. Just said I got poor internet. Okay, so I put in just a basic paragraph of where I want this particular topic to go on my lose weight. So then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a block, and I'm probably going to use a classic block here. And I'm going to talk about why it's fresh in my mind on getting healthy. And you want to try to tie in your thought process. Okay, so there's that. That's my thought process for getting healthy. And then same thing with getting married. That's not for me. I'm already married. But I'm going to do a basic paragraph on this.
baby. Yeah.
Okay. And then okay, so there's some more ideas I can talk about the getting married, and then starting a family was the same thing. We can go from there. And again, just tying in. Okay, so there's that. And every once in a while, I want to come back through and read, make sure I got green and green. Here I have orange, so I want to see what it's saying is the matter. So I need to use my key phrase a little bit more. I don't have any pictures, I know that, and I haven't used my my key phrase in any subheadings. My links I'll worry about later. My outbound links I'll worry about. My pictures I'll worry about after that. This slug, I already know why the slug is saying it doesn't appear. And it's because I've used an apostrophe. And I've actually used the apostrophe in my key phrase. An apostrophe will not show up in your slug. Anything like that, quotes, punctuations, they do not show up in your slug. So if you have it in your key phrase, if you have it and you put it in your focus key phrase, you have it in your sentence or your title, you want to make sure it appears the same way. But it will not show up in your slugs. And that's fine with me because my key phrase, I need it to show exactly that way. I need it to have that parenthesis, that apostrophe in it, because that's what people will search. But it will still come up either way. So if you get this little message right here that says part of your key phrase does not appear in the slug, change it. As long as you know you have all the words in there, usually it means that you have a punctuation in your key phrase that the slug is not picking up, which is fine. You don't need to worry about that because I want to use my key phrase exactly the way I have it because that is the exact key phrase and how it shows up on people's searches. So I want to make sure that stays in there. So then I'm going to come back here and so I need to see what my key phrase is. And I will probably come back in and put this in here. So right here, I'm going to just start, and I want to do this in Classic. Okay. There you go. All right, so there's the heading for that. So now I'm going to go through here and try to fix some of my red marks that I can change. So key phrase and subheading. So I can change that easily. So I'm just going to go through here because I know I'm not going to add too much more to this. I have my titles. I have them in the order that they, or my headers, my headings. I'm not going to add anything more to those. So I have my title here. And I can just put it in one of them. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to put it here. Okay. So that should take care of that one. So I'll come through here and I'm going to hit my save draft because I haven't done that, which is not normal. I usually do it about every 2 paragraphs. Just hit my save draft. And I hope it lets me save my draft because I've been in it all day. I haven't logged out of it. So I'm going to, and it's probably going to tell me I need to log in. So before I do that, I'm going to come here and highlight this page just in case I have to re-log in. Control C to copy. And then I'm going to open me up a new file. Paste. Nope, didn't do it. All right, it's not letting me copy. Don't do this to me. All right. So see, this is why I should have logged out before I started class. I don't want to say it, lose it, but I might end up losing it.
No, don't lose it.
I know, and it might.
No.
It'll be all right. Trust me.
Is it okay to say, yeah, like you copy it to, well, Pages from me, I got a Mac, and then you can make sure that you can put it back in?
Well, it's not copying. That's the thing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not copying.
Screen copying?
It's not copying.
Okay. Because I have screen copy and then I can, all right.
Yeah, it's not copying. So let me see something real quick. Drafts. Edit. See if it's in here. All right, so let's go to save draft on this one. Okay, so that's fine. So this one apparently didn't save my draft, but because I have 2 pages open, I just opened up the new page since I logged into that one and it saved it. So I'm good to go. So if I come here and go to preview, let's see what the preview, if it opens up my preview, see what's in it. Okay, so this one needs to log out. So I will log out of that. And then just come here and open up another site. Move it over. So I have both of them together. You go to all pages. Okay, so now everything's there. So now let's see what my SEO says. So let's open this up. Let's open this up. So it's still telling me because of my word count, I need to add it again. So we're going to come down here and put it. And I need to make sure that I'm putting it exactly. Okay, exactly the way it is here. Now, if you notice in my key phrase, I have it all in lowercase. You want to make sure that you have it in lowercase because then you can use upper or lowercase and it will recognize your key phrase. If you put your key phrase in uppercase or use punctuation, you know, the way it's supposed to be made, you know, first sentence is going to be uppercase, then that means it has to show up exactly that way, that if you use a uppercase anywhere in it, it has to be used in an uppercase anywhere when you use it. So that's why it's good to go ahead and put your key phrase all in lowercase, because then you can manipulate how you want it to show up and it's not going to give you a false reading. The only thing, like I said, is because I have an apostrophe S or punctuation, that the slug does not pick up punctuation. I can put it in there, but I don't want to. I want the slug to read just like this. That way, no matter how people type it, they'll find the apostrophe or find my key phrase with or without the apostrophe. I just want to make sure that I have it exactly the way that the key phrase reads. When I looked it up for Jaxie, it had the apostrophe in it. So I want to leave that in there. And you can change it if you want to. You just hit your edit snippet. You can go to slug and you can actually put that apostrophe in there if you want to. And then see, automatically it went green. But I don't want that apostrophe in my slug, so I'm going to take it out. And then I'm just going to hit save my draft again. Yes, I did change it. So when I go through here and I see all this, some of you, when you start writing, you want to make sure, a lot of you will, I used to, is I'll wait until I got to the end of my page, and then I would come in here and create my snippet. You want your snippet to be only in green. So when you go to do your meta description, if you write and you keep writing and all of a sudden it turns from green to orange, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It just means that when people search your title and click on it, when they go to Google, and I'm going to show you what I mean why you need to make sure your snippet is good. So when you go to Google and you're typing in a key phrase, this is what people see. So when you see these ... dots, that means there's more there that they want you to read. If you see like this one here, it's complete. So you read the whole thing and you know exactly what it says. When you see ... that means there's more there. That means when they went and was doing their meta description, they went beyond the green. All of a sudden it turned orange or it's red. That means there's more characters there than the meta description can hold in one paragraph. Okay. So you don't want to have this ... or see more. You want to make sure you give them all your information right there for them to read so they can click it and see exactly what you're saying. Most people, when they see this ... they don't want to read anymore because they're like, well, I don't want to see if they can't, you know, I don't have time. I'm gonna go to something else that tells me what I want to know. So if you, at all possible, if you can get it to where it's just green and stop, that's what you want it to do. That means your description or your thought is right there with your title. So it all shows up just like this. You don't have that ... or click for more information or anything like that. They can read exactly what you're talking about. So you want to make sure that stays green. Same thing with your SEO title. If your title's too long, you'll have it orange here or red. That means it's too long. Even if it's orange and it's back here, that means it's too short. So you want to make sure that it is green. You will always see your title or your website title at the end of every title that you have. That's just the way WordPress is set up. They want people to know where your website's coming from, because people can shop with or find you based on the title of your website or based on the page that you're advertising. So you will see both of those. I had somebody ask me, well, why is this always showing up at the end of every title? Because they advertise not only your website title, but also the page that you create. So people can find you several different ways. So now that I have that, so now all it's telling me is I don't have any links and I don't have any pages. So for the most part, if I want to, I can say my page is finished. It's got my ideas across. I have everything green and green. If I want to see the schematics of my page, I just hit my content structure. It tells me I have 698 words. I have 6 headings, 5 paragraphs, 14 blocks. It tells me my incorrect heading level. I don't know what that means, but it tells me my different headings that I have. So you can have different things. You can actually look and see your block navigation, what kind of blocks that you used. So if you want to come back and change it later, you can, but you can, anything over 300 words is good. But if you can get it more than 300 words, it's better. So I have 698 words. My thoughts are complete. I can always come back and add more to it, which I know I will. But say I want to go ahead and say this is done, and it's telling me my readability is green. I got a high flash score. It's 85.1. Anything over 65 is good. The higher the score, the better it is to read. It's more accessible for people to read. My passive and consecutive sentences are good. Headers, transition words, so everything's in green. So the only thing I have to worry about now is the basics. I have no outbound links. I have no internal links. So then what I can do is, based on my page itself, then I can start incorporating my links. And that's why I always have 2 sites of my website up. I have 2 tabs of my website up. I go to my published pages, because then I will be using some of these as internal links. Yes.
I have a question before you go on to that. The very end of your page, you always have your little character to your trademark.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get that in there?
That would be an image block, and I'll be showing you how to do that at the end because I always do my images last.
Okay, sounds.
Yep. So I'll show that, because a lot of people, they want to, and Paul gets on this. And I used to do it. I would try to pretty it up as I go, and then I would end up swapping pictures around. So you want to make sure that you wait to the very end after you got your content done. That way you can see what space you have to work with, how you've used it. If you used a block, if you use classic, then you can determine from there what type of image you want to do. If you want to do a gallery, if you want to do a single image, if you want to do a video, you'll be able to access your pages a little bit better on how you want it to appear. So I want to make sure that I do that, because this one here this paragraph here can change a whole lot. Now, someone asked, how do you change your paragraphs, or how do you break up a paragraph? If it's in classic, it's fairly easy. All you do is just put, if your paragraph is too long, then all you have to do is just click somewhere and hit enter, and it drops it down to another level. If you've used a block and your paragraph's too long, you can basically do the same thing. It will put it in a different block. But for the most part, anytime you hit your enter button, it's going to change it. Now, if you are in classic and you want it to stay in classic instead of changing blocks, then you hit shift and enter, and it stays within that block. I think it's shift. Yeah, it stays within that block instead of changing it to a regular block. It stays in classic. Same thing with this one. If you're in a regular block right here, paragraph block, you just hit shift and enter, and it stays in that block and drops to the next paragraph within that same block. So,
I was looking to find out how to do that. I thought it was just a given that it had to go to another block.
Yes, sometimes it will. Like if I go here and don't do that, if I click enter, it's automatically going to go to a brand new block.
Right.
And it's gonna, and then I choose which block I want it. But if I'm just continuing this same paragraph in this block mode, then I just hit shift and enter a couple of times. It drops it down, and then I can continue to write in that same block.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, so then let's see. All right, and then if you wanted to open up a different block, after you write, you will see that this little plus sign shows up at the end of every block that you've created. Usually it's the beginning or end of every block. You will see that plus sign. So if you're like, hey, I want to add a different paragraph in here, or there's more content I want to put in between here, you just click on this plus, and it opens up either your most used or most recent use, or you can scroll down and find which block you want to put in there, and it will insert it above it. So there's several different ways you can manipulate your page. So from here, I want to continue writing. Okay, so I just wanted to put that in there because I was thinking about it. So now I'm going to go in and put some links in. So right off the bat, I know right here I have a link in my ads. I'm going to pull this ad up on business. I don't want to do that one. That's weight loss business. I want to do the business. Maybe it's not on this one. It's on the other one. Okay, so here's one right here that I'm going to use as an internal link. And I'm going to link this whole phrase. And since I'm in Classic, you see that it's a little bit different. I'm going to paste that link in here. I always open my links in a new tab because if they don't like what they see, I want them to be able to come back and find the same one that they just came from. And with Classic, you have the option to change the color of your links. Classic is the only block that you can change those links. So there is that. So that should get rid. So I'm already in green because number one, I added that internal link. So you see that's gone. So then from there, say I want to start with my different links. So right here, lose weight. So guess what I can use for lose weight? My Valentis. So I'm going to pull up my link.
What happened to your purple arrow?
I haven't set it up on my new computer yet.
It was so nice to be able to follow that.
Yeah,
okay.
I will set that. I still got some glitches that I need to get rid of on this one. So I am using my new computer. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to just click one of my pages on my health. And I'm just going to come here and click on this link. And I'm going to copy this link address. I'm going to come back to my page. And so actually I need to put in here all right, so right there, so right here, I'm going to type in coffee and hot chocolate, hit my link, paste in my link I just got from my other page. I'm going to open this in a new tab and hit update. And again, I'm going to highlight this. I want to do this one in red and bold it. So now that is linked for my hot chocolate. All right, so lose weight, get healthy. So for getting healthy, I'm going to pull up my maca or vitamin. So I'm going to pull up my CJ right here. And okay, I know you sent me a reminder about that. I don't need to go to Support Center to learn more. All right, so then I'm going to go to links and I'm going to go to search. So this will pull up just my links. And in my keyword, right here, I'm just going to type in vitamins and do search. And I got here, right here. Great. Perfect. I'm going to click on get code. I'm going to do click URL, copy this, go back to my page. Vitamins, right here, keyword, vitamins and calcium. And again, I'm going to insert my link. Make sure it opens in a new page and hit update. I can color this. I don't want it to be blue. I want it to be green. And do it in bold. And then natural herbs and remedies. I know I have one of those. This is a good one. I think this is the one. They actually send you a package of different stuff. So I'm going to click on that one. And do the same thing, click my link. Now try to keep the same color scheme throughout the paragraph. So if I change the color of a link, I want to make sure that that color stays with that paragraph. And then with getting married, do the same thing. I'm going to click up here and do dating. So I have a couple of dating sites for people to actually. So we have Catholic Match.
Yeah, so Sheila, when getting these offers right here, you have to request
yes.
that?
Yes. So when you initially sign up for CJ, you make sure you fill out all that information to the best of your knowledge. They do ask you to do a description of your website. So you want to make sure that you put in exactly what your website's doing, that you don't specify or be specific that you're only going to do this and this and this and this. You want to give them a broad reference to your website. Don't leave anything out, because I know there's some people that, you know, there's like, well, I don't want to advertise guns and weapons and things like that. And that's totally up to you if that's what you want to do. Just remember that there are companies out there that do reference and sell, you know, guns and registrations with the proper, you know, background and stuff. So don't leave out any of your audience because you might not feel comfortable with it. There will be somebody out there, but again, this is your website. So they will look at that. And so once you get that, when you go back to your CJ, you're going to come here to advertisers. And what I did, and I kid you not, I started from the very first one and hit join program. And as soon as you hit that, they're going to tell you your application is going to be viewed manually. They're going to either tell you that you have been denied, or they're going to tell you, congratulations, you've been approved. Either one of those. Just because they've told you you've been denied, that means that your website's new. They do go back and read that description of your website. They will look at your website, especially the ones that say that they're going to be viewing your website. Or that they do it on their own. So you want to make sure that you do that. I still get denied for stuff, and it could be, you know, they just don't like what I have, or because I have something that they view is competitive with them. So you want to make sure and just click on it. And then once you get approved for them, you're going to click on your links and go to search, and it will pull up only the ones that you've been approved to use. You don't have to go in here and look and say, okay, do I need to get approval for them? The ones that show up in links under search are yours that you have permission to use. And then the other thing is, a lot of people don't look at this, and you need to pay attention to your dashboard. So if you've applied for some and they give you the option that says that they're going to manually look at it, you want to come here where it says view pending offer approvals, and you want to look at this about once a week, because they will send you, or they will put it in here that you've been approved. They just want you to go through and see if you agree with the information that they're saying that they're going to pay you, and the stipulations. So you actually have to go in here and manually say, yeah, I want to market with you. They only leave it in there for 30 days. After 30 days, they think you don't want to, and they will put decline. And it'll be hard for you to get approval for them the next time, because they think you don't want them. Like this one is one for vision care that is marketed in Canada only. So since we're getting ready to market wine in Canada, I want to have something else I can market in Canada. So yes, I'm going to accept this offer, and they'll let me know, and they'll send me an email that says thank you and welcome to our website, and welcome to our market. And then they will start giving me marketing ads. They'll give me banners and flyers and links that I can use, and they will keep me updated through email that I've registered with on any new promotions that they have.
Okay.
All right, so some of them you don't have to do anything. They're just letting you know that they're changing some of their offers. This one actually went up It used to be 1.5%. So it's actually gone up. But you want to make sure that, like this is CDB oil, we're actually getting ready to do something with that. I'm not sure, but I already have several programs that I have approval for that. I just got to create a page. So this one is a lead generation, and they pay me $50 for a lead, or if they actually buy the program, I get $201. So you have different ones. This is one I have been trying forever to get. It's Vega. It's a vegan company that does nutritional stuff. They actually went up in their Canada. Okay, so they went up from 3.5% to 5%. That's cool. So I don't have to change anything. They're just letting me know that they've changed some stuff. And then I usually just come here and click all and hit accept. And it tells me that some of them I don't need to do anything with. But this is where I can go. And so now if I go to my search, all these new ones that I just got, that I just accepted their offers, will now be in here for me to search. And you can search CJ several different ways. If you know the exact advertiser's name, you can type it here. They also use keyword searches, so you can do your keyword search here. Or if you come down to your categories, there's actually categories that you can click. And then if you just want to click on the category for accessories, say I only want shoes, and I just click on shoes, then it will show me every program or affiliate that I have approval for that does shoes or has anything related to shoes. So you can search CJ several different ways and be able to find your links other than just the keyword.
You can try to join all that you can?
Yes.
There's no limit?
There's no limit. Mm-mm.
So when you were saying you just have a description so you qualify for it, where do you see where you describe? Because I have an account, I just don't.
Oh, well, if you already have an account, if you haven't filled it out fully, when you go, there will be a little disclaimer up here that says you need to finish your profile.
Okay, yeah, I guess I do have the profile and everything's up to par.
Yep. So if you have that and you don't have where it says complete profile, then you're good to go. All you need to do is go to your advertisers and start clicking join program and follow what the instructions say. And like I said, once it gets done, you find that out. I used to write them all down and print them out, and I was like, God, I'm running through reams and reams of paper. But then you just go through here and click on your links and hit your search tool, and that will pull up your affiliates only, just the ones that you've been approved for.
Okay.
And then that's what I use. So when I come to CJ, I automatically go to the links and go to search, and then I'm not worried about, hey, am I going to have to get approval for that? These I already know I have approval for. So all I have to do is just click on this box and get a code once I find the one that I want to use. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Good job. So, and then again, I also have a page that I created on marriage or dating. So I can use that as well. So I'm going to get this link. So that's why your templates are so handy too. So I can actually put this in here. Dating, link, paste my link. And I'm going to bold this one. Since this is in a paragraph block, I can't change the color of that, but I can change the color of the paragraph. So say I want this paragraph to stand out. I'm going to come here and let's make this a drop cap. So now my G is going to stand up. All right, go back. Okay. Which is fine. I know that drop cap's showing it. Show me what it's going to look like. And then let's say this paragraph here, I want to change that color. Since I'm talking about my son, I better not make it pink. So I can actually change that color, make that particular paragraph stand out. So you can doctor up your page, so to speak, if you want to. Same thing with this one. Let's make this color. And if you don't like that color, you can do the same thing. Come to your color wheel and say you want it to be a darker purple. I can leave that. And then I want to come back and change my text. So I can come here to my text color and I want it to be white. So now that stands out. And then I can drop this first letter. And then I'm going to save my draft. All right. And then let's go to preview. So I always click on the preview button because then it opens it up in a new tab and I can see what needs to be fixed. So far I got a link there. So everything has a link. Every paragraph has a link except for starting a family. I really don't have anything to put there yet, but that's fine. Every paragraph does not have to have a link. So for pretty much I have my page complete. So now all I need to do is come back and let's pretty it up. And so this is where your paragraph types come in. So now that I know that I have a paragraph block here and a paragraph block here, then I need to come here and put a picture. And since I'm going to do this, I want to do a gallery. And I'm going to go to my media because I have a ton of pictures in there. So before I upload new pictures, I just want to go to my media library and see what I have in there already. So this is one of the topics we're talking about is getting married. What's another one we're talking about? Oh, diet is another one that we're talking about. I'm going to put this one in there because we're talking about opportunities, but I might change that one. So let's leave that for right now. I know I'm putting in that in there, lose weight. We can do our Bitcoin. Just depends. I'm gonna have a bunch of different ones, but I'll go through that back through and look and see which ones I want to use. That would be a good one. That would be a good one. Okay, so we're going to leave that and create a gallery. And then I can look here and choose which ones I want. Let's take this one out. I'm going to leave that one there. Let's take this one out. Relationships, let's take this one out. These two are saying the same thing basically. And change my mind. I'm going to do something different. This. Family, no. I just thought of something I want to do different. Hold on. Okay. All right, I got another one I want to use for.
Where do you find all these cool pictures?
Google.
Mm.
Yep. I need that one. Here's what I was looking for. This. Okay, so now let's see. Don't have anything for business. Where's my business? Kind of like Coyote. I'm gonna put him in there. So create a new gallery. So I'm gonna take these out because these are too busy. I don't want to use these right now. I might use them somewhere else. Take this one out. Believe in yourself. Take that one out. And let's move this around. Put that here. All right, and this is why captions are important, because you want to make sure you write these captions, because as I'm creating this gallery, I can't link the gallery. However, I can link the pictures or the captions that I'm creating in these pictures. So then I'm going to insert my gallery. And because I have it set on 3 and have it set to crop, I don't want 3, I want 4. So now it's got it all in a row. And so now my gallery, the pictures are all cropped. They have my message on there. And if I want to come back later and actually put in a link under each one of these messages that take them to either a different page, I can do that. Or take them to a different affiliate, I can do that as well. So then I'm going to come here, and this one is in Classic. So Classic is a little bit different when you incorporate pictures. So in Classic, I want to do weight loss. So I'm just going to kind of pick where I want this one to go. Since I have 2 paragraphs, I'm just going to put it at the end of this cursor. And I'm going to click on this media icon right here where it says add media. And I'm going to click on it. And again, I'm going to use my media library because I already know I have the picture in here I want to use. And where is it at? It's just a matter of finding it. This one. And I'm just going to insert this image in here. Now it puts it where it wants to, but I can actually move it. I'm going to align it over here, and then I'm going to shrink it a little bit because it's a little bit bigger than I want it. Now, if I want it there, or if I can leave it in the middle, I can leave it there too. That works just as well. Or if I want to move it to the right of that, put it down here, that looks good too. Since I have these pictures here, I can leave that there. Getting married. Again, we can do this one is in block, so we can do the same thing, just hit block. And this one, we're going to do an image block. And I'm just going to hit add media or media library for where it wants me to go. And let's do this cake. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to align this in the center. And then it has my alternative text. You will see this whenever you do a block, an image block, you have your image settings over here. Your alternative text should always be what your focus key phrase is. And I can't remember what it is. I'll make New Year's. All right, and then if you want to, you can link this picture. And again, we can put in our link either for one of our Jaxie links, our CJ links, which I think I'm going to do. Or let's do wedding. I think I got something in here for wedding. All right, so here's one for engagement rings. I haven't put anything in there for jewelry, so I'm going to come here. Because they got to have a ring. Paste that in there. Open it up in a new tab. And there. So now that picture is linked. So if they click on that, it'll take them to my page for diamond rings. Then I'm going to hit save draft because I've done quite a bit of work. I don't want to lose it. All right. So then you got family and then debt solutions. So this is another one where you have different options that you can do. Since I'm doing a classic block, I'm going to do my picture up here. And we're going to again do our media. And I do have the picture I want to use in here as well. This one. Insert that. And I'm going to move this one over to the left. I want it smaller. And we're going to, in your classic block, then the way you link this picture is you're going to click on here and you're going to get your toolbar above it. You're just going to click on your edit. It will pull up your image details and you're going to do the same thing here. Okay. And you're linked to, you can do the same thing. You're going to link to a custom URL. And this one you can actually, link it to your Blogging for Cash with Rory, your brunette marketing, or with me. I'm going to link it to a page I already have for business. Because that page has all my information in it. Okay, and you want to make sure you open it in a new tab. Your title attributes is the same thing as your focus key phrase. And you always want to make sure you open it in a new tab. If you are using an internal link, which means it's going back to your website, you don't have to use this. Open in a new tab. I just do. That's just me. But you do not have to do that. So then I'm going to update that. And then for the most part, right here, so I want to use my wine ambassador link. So I'm going to pull this up. And I'm going to grab my wine ambassador link. I'm going to click link, paste, open in a new tab, update, and we're going to make this purple and bold. Okay. And then let's see what else is it telling me I need. And this right here, when you get this orange where it says your images on this page do not reflect your attributes for your text or your focus key phrase, it usually means that you have a gallery, and because you can't do that with the gallery, I mean, you probably can when you set it up, but for the most part, when you do a gallery, you can't do that from the beginning, so you don't need to worry about it. It's just going to be one of the things. As long as you have green and green, you should be good. I also have one like this one isn't linked. So I can actually come back here and modify that part. And I'm not going to link this picture right now. I might come back later and link it, but right now I'm not going to link it. And then as always, as everybody knows, I have my, I want to get rid of, this is a header, but I want to do an image. It won't let me do it, so I'm just going to get rid of this block. And then I'm going to add my little lady. And she's going to be an image block. I'm going to go to my library. And I'm going to find her. She's down here at the bottom. Did I pass her?
I think you did. I thought I saw her off to the left.
Yeah, I have a couple of different variations of her. The one I want is just her holding the wine. I don't think she's this far down. I'm gonna just check though. And I have one that I made of her. Yeah, I didn't go this far. Of her with the logo at the top that says, "Ask me how to get free wine." The one I want is just her standing still that says, "Thank you for shopping." There she is. She's moved. And so right here, the alternative text or the alternate text, when you're creating your gallery, this will show up on your gallery. So you can actually type it there, but once you insert it in your website, you don't have this option anymore. So whenever you're creating a gallery for your page, fill this information out if you want it. You won't get a link. You will be able to get a description and a caption, but this alternative text, fill that out. But this one I'm just doing a single one, so I'm going to hit select, and then I'm going to again align her in the center, and she has "Thank you for stopping by," and I'm just going to make her a bit smaller so she don't take up too much space. And again, alternative text. Okay, and I'm not going to link her, and then I'm just going to hit save draft. So now I guess go back here and look, and I'm going to have those two things, which are fine. I know why this is there. I know why this is there. That is fine. My overall is green and green. I want to just double check my readability, make sure there's nothing in there. So my flesh score still is above 80, which is great. That means it's easy to read. I don't have too many run-on sentences. I don't have too many compound sentences. I don't have consecutive sentences together. So they're short, concise, to the point, and like they said, it's easy to read. The higher your flesh score, the easier it is to read, the more acceptable it is for people to hold people's attention. My pictures are not overwhelming. You only need about a picture every 100 to 150 words, or if your topic changes radically, you can have a picture to flow with that. You just don't want to overwhelm it to all of a sudden, instead of you having content, you basically have a picture graph. You don't want to do that. So for all intents and purposes, this page is complete. So once I have a page that's complete, I've had people ask me, how do I know my page is published? Since I know this is an original page, I have the words save as draft, preview, and publish. If you have save, draft, preview, and update, that means your page is already published. It's a published page. That doesn't mean it's marketed, which means you've done ads on it. That just means your page is published for people to look at in your website. Because mine says published, that lets me know my page is still in draft. Therefore, no one can look at that page but me and whoever has access to my website to go under admin. So unless this says update, that means my page is still in draft. So I'm going to click on preview, and I'm going to look at it to see if it looks the way I want it to look. So I have my drop cap. That's eye-catching. It's letting people know it's in purple. So again, it's eye-catching, revealing. I try not to have a picture before my first paragraph, and you usually don't want to either. You want to have your paragraph first and your picture underneath the paragraph. If it's very relevant, you can have a picture above it, but Google will flag you and say that you don't have content first. So you always want to make sure your first paragraph is a paragraph, not a picture. So it looks pretty good. My pictures are centered the way I want them to be. Good. Pictures relevant. So now I'm going to go back and let's check my word count. See how many words I have. So click here. So I got 863 words. That's about average for me. Usually I run between 8 and 1200 words. If you get over 12 to 1500 words range, then you might want to start doing what we call a series, or basically get less words in if you can, or create another page with a different topic. Most people will not read a page that's over 1500 words unless it's really, really interesting or something that they really are wanting to read about. So try to keep your pages between those numbers. That doesn't mean that people won't read a page that's 1500 words or more. You just want to make sure that your whole system's not that many. If you have really short pages, you know, that's 300 to 400 words, those can be good as well, but make sure that you have your whole topics clearly represented in those 300 to 400 words. You have to have at least 300 words for Google to even look at your site. So if you go through and you have pages that are less than 300 words, add more content to it. So this page is exactly the way I want it. So I'm just going to click on publish. And it's going to ask me, am I ready to publish my page? Is my do I want it to go public? You always want to hit yes. You can click it and have it private, which means only those people you have access or given the direct link to can see that page. If people come to your website, they cannot see that page unless you give them permission to. So you always want to make sure your pages are public. You always want to make sure you publish them immediately. That means as soon as you click publish, that page is up and running and ready to be marketed. So I'm going to hit publish. It's updating. Tells me my page was published. And here's my link that I can use to give out to people. So there again, that's my link. Now I'm not putting this page on my category page. It's just going to be a floating picture. And because it has New Year's resolutions, it can be what we call a period piece, which means it's only people's going to be looking for it the first couple of months of the year, just like with the Valentine's Days and Christmas and any holiday that we put a page out for. When that holiday is over, do not take your page out and put it in draft. You got traffic to that page for that particular season. People will still come to your page even though Valentine's Day is over, even though Christmas is over, they can still search those pages. What will happen is the people that, or your advertisers, the links that you have, unless they have a set date that says this is for Christmas only, and you use that date or you use that particular link, then that link will not show up. But the advertiser will be there still, and they can still search that site for whatever the current promotion is that they have. So even though Christmas is over, if I go to any Christmas page and I click on that link, it'll either take me to a clearance page or it will take me to their home page, and I can still shop there. And because it's still my link, I still get credit for any purchases made. So just because the holiday or the season is over for a page that you created, don't take it out of circulation. Still leave it there. People will know, hey, it's not Christmas, but here's a Christmas site. You don't have to change anything. Your affiliates will change it for you. Then when that season rolls around again, just go in and put new information, date your page a little bit, create a new page. But because you advertise that page, you have traffic coming to that page, and people might have bookmarked it just for your site. So you don't want to take that page down, because if they go to their bookmark and it's for your Christmas site, guess what? They're going to get a page not found. And you don't want to do that, because they're going to think, oh, they've gone out of business, and they won't even look to see if you are still there for other ads. So don't ever take your page out of circulation or put it in draft once you've advertised it. Just leave it there. If you want to, you can go and put a disclaimer over and say, oh, Christmas is over, but these are some great affiliates. They have more promotions. Just click and look. You know, but it's totally up to you. I just leave my page there. I don't advertise for it anymore because my ads are still there. But the page is still there. If you have it in your category, so we just published this page. It's telling me it's published. So but if you have a page that you've put in your category list over here and it's for a specific holiday, just remove it out of your category, out of your drop down. That doesn't take it out of your website. It just takes it from being searchably hands-on. That just means they'll have to go in and manually type in the name to search for it. So what you want to do is, if you have one like for like mine, I actually have a category for promotions and seasonal and promotional things. So they know when they come here, they're going to see, you know, that it's for Valentine's. They're going to see that it was for Christmas. They're going to see, you know, that it was for Easter, whatever the holiday is. They can see that. So I don't need to take it out. But if you don't have a category like this and you have it in one of your other drop downs, then all you have to do is just go to your menus drop down right here. Just click on menus and then go to your menu structure and just remove it off your menu. Just click remove and it takes it off your menu structure. Then make sure you hit your update or save menu. It doesn't remove it from your page. It just takes it out of your menu structure, but your page is still searchable in your website. So that's a lot of people get confused, that they think, oh, I took it out of my menu structure, my page is gone. No, it's just not in your menu for people to actually click on it. Now they have to search for it. They can go to your search bar at the top of your page. Every page should still have this search bar, and they can type in a keyword. You know, if they type in Valentine's, you know, it's going to pull up all the pages that I have for Valentine's, or anything that has the word Valentine's in it. It's going to pull them up. So, you know, here, then it goes to my monthly clubs, the perfect gift. It has Valentine's Day in it. Anything that has that word Valentine's is going to pull up that page for Valentine's that has the word in it. So just like they search Google, they can search your page for that same information. So all of my pages that has the word Valentine in it show up when they click on that search. So they can read everything I have that pertains to Valentine's. So right now I'm on the 5th page that I have the word Valentine in. So that's why it's key not to take your pages and put them in draft just because the season's over, because they will come and search for different things. That's why you have that search bar on your website. I need to redo this page. It's terrible. It's one of the first pages I ever did. And I got a note that I need to do it. So there's just different things. And like, this is a page I did, and I don't even know when I did it. It's just got junk in it. January 16, 2018. So that tells you how long this has been in there. So this is probably an idea I had, and somehow it got published. And it's there. It's in my website for people to look at. And it could be because I'm the administrator that I can pull up all this stuff. But, you know, that's why you want to make sure that you have the search on your website, and make sure that you do not take pages out of and put them in draft that you've already published and that you've already advertised for, because you will lose that traffic. So let's see. Yeah, so if you're pulling up an arrow when you go to click on a link and it gives you an arrow, make sure that you've copied that link exactly, and make sure that the company is still valid. So if you're clicking on a link and you're going back checking your pages and you click on a link and it says error, either the link is not working, which means it could be that it didn't get copied incorrectly, or the company is no longer available. And you will get either an error page, which means they couldn't find the company or they couldn't find the link, or the product itself is no longer available, and you have to change it. Share sale is no longer there. If you have share sale, congratulations. They went in-house with a lot of the stuff. You can still try to get it, but if you have share sale, congratulations. I've been trying for 2 years. I can't get it. And you can use as many affiliates as you can get promotions for. These ads here, a lot of people ask me about my ads that I have on my website. A lot of them are Google. I have Google, give Google access to put as many ads on my page as they can fit on it. Some of these, like these, are just widgets that I got from CJ for different ads, and you can do that. When you go to CJ, you don't want to put too many. They're called banners. But like with this one, it's an engagement ring. So say I want to put this ad on my page. So it tells me I need to know what the size of this ad is and how it looks. I don't want to put too big of ad. I like to use the longer ads on my page. These take up too much space. These don't take up too much. But I want to use something like this one will be a good one to put on. So say I want to put that in there. So I will just go to get code. I want to use the HTML code, and I copy that code. Then I go back to my page and I go to widgets. And then I want to determine if I want it to go on the left, the right, or a footer. The left side is your home page. The right side is all your consecutive pages. The footer is the bottom, and you have footer 1 and footer 2, which means if it's going to go on the right side of the footer or the left side of the footer. So I have 4 on one and 4 on the other. I don't want to put any more on my right side. It's already full. I don't want to put any more on my left side, which is on my home page. So I might put this one on the footer. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to come here, and I always like to use the text tab. And I'm going to click on this, and it's going to ask me, where do I want to put this text? I want to put it on footer 2, and I click add widget. And then it will open it under the footer I want it. I don't need to put a title. And I want to make sure that it's on the text side. It automatically opens under visual, and the way you know it's under visual, it has the bold, the italics, and the link. I want it under text. So then it gives me all my code options. Then all I want to do is just paste in that code. I don't want to change anything, and hit save. And then hit done. All right, and then once I do that, then I come back to my site, visit my site, and I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I should see that picture. So there's my picture right there. That's the one I just added. So then if I go to any page in my website and go to the bottom, that picture should be there. So this right here is a Google ad. And the reason I know that is if you look up here, it says ad choices. That's for Google. I don't click on those. If you have Google, don't click on that. Google will kick you off if you click on your own ad, because you get paid for that click. So you don't want to click on your own ad. Sometimes you'll see ads in the middle of my page when people come to it. That could be a Google ad, like this one is a Google ad. They will put them wherever they see fit to. And again, there's my page, the one I added on my left side on my footer 2. This is footer 1. This is footer 2. So I have this one ad. I have this one, lighter side company, and it changes depending on the season. This one probably will change too. This one changed because now it says wedding shop. So depending on the company, they might change their ad depending on the code. So that's how you would put those in there. You don't want to put a whole lot in there. You don't want to clutter up your page. So that's the basically how you pretty it up. Your affiliate link is already linked. So whenever you get a link off of CJ or whatever, that is your link. You don't have to put anything in there other than what you pasted in there. It's already linked to you. So if they click on any of those pictures, they're already linked to me. They're already mine. I got them off my website, off of my approved site. So if they click on this, it's already linked to my account. So I don't have to do anything with it. When you have a widget and you get an HTML code, everything is already in that code. You don't have to link it. It already is. Most HTML codes you can't link because it is a code. Only pictures are the ones that you link. You can't link a video, but you can do a comment and link under the comment. So that's the difference between using code and actually using an image. Code you can't link. Your link is already in your code. Videos you can't link. You can link the comment underneath them that you write underneath there. You can link it with whatever you're promoting through your video. But any other thing you should be able to link it. But code you don't link. It should already have your code in it if you get it from any of your affiliate markets. Okay, so so that's all I have for today. I hope that answered a lot of questions. If you have a question, please just unmute yourself and ask it. We're going to have about 10 minutes of Q&A, and we'll call it a day.
Sheila, it's Constance. Hi.
Yes.
I think the one thing, for some reason, I guess when you put the comma or hyphen or question, which I have had, I guess I thought I had to take it out of the whole body, not just the slug or the.
No, when you have an apostrophe or any kind of punctuation in your title, and you use your title as your key phrase, your slug does not automatically put that in there. Now you can manipulate your slug and put that in there and get it green. But for the most part, it's going to be orange. It's going to say that you have a portion of it or a part of it, but it's not exact.
But if I leave it in like what you did, but I can put it in the body of the story.
Yes. You're still going to get that message, but depending on how, because with mine, if you noticed, even with mine that I got that message, let's go and look at it.
Because I took out, so many like quotes or I can't think of the words now. Because I was afraid.
Like apostrophes and things like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, because let's see, got to find what one.
Is it just best to take it out of the whole story?
No,
and not
I don't
use
take
it
mine
at
out.
all?
I don't take it out, and the reason I don't take it out is because I have Jaxie. I use Jaxie to find some of my key phrases or keywords. And if you're using that, like with this one, it had the apostrophe in it as a higher rating than the one without the apostrophe. So that's why I left it in here. And then also with me, with being anal the way I am about certain things, this didn't make sense to me, because then everybody would, depending on how with me reading it, I would say that was apostrophe yes, thinking about more years in resolutions and thinking about just a specific New Year's resolutions. It made it too vague. So the apostrophe with me was twofold. I couldn't deal with it. My OCD kicked in. And then it had a better average for being indexed well on Google with the apostrophe. Now, with that being said, this slug, because it's a code, it takes out any unnecessary punctuation. So it will take out apostrophes, quotes, questions, and question marks and things like that, and have only word characters or letter characters. Or number characters. But now if you wanted to go here and manipulate this slug and put that apostrophe in there, you can.
No, I don't. That's fine. I just wanted to know, like in paragraphs, not headings, that I could still use.
Yes. Yeah, you can still use it this way, but it's not going to clear up that SEO, because it's telling you that you're not using it exactly in your key phrase. So it's telling you, even though you're using it, I'm not using it exactly. I didn't, everywhere I use New Year's, I put an apostrophe. Now, if you want to use it and not put an apostrophe, it might clear it up somewhere, but you're still going to get it like, if I don't use it in headings and things like that. But again, it just depends on how you use it, and how the computer perceives it. You know, it might come out and you use it enough times that it can get rid of this.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to leave it in quotes in your title, and then in certain spots you want to leave it exactly the way you want it, by all means do that. Your slug, as long as you have this green and green, you'll be okay.
Okay.
All right, somebody, you're welcome. Somebody put, let's see what the chat was. Yeah, I go over a lot. That's why I record it, and it'll be on Zoom as soon as I get finished downloading it, and you can go in and set that up. The other thing I want to show you, and Paul alluded to this on his Thursday. I missed today's because I was still cleaning, but you can actually set what they call a feature image. And a feature image is a picture that you have either made, you found, or whatever that you want to represent this page with. So I'm going to set a feature image, because whenever I advertise on social media, this is the picture I want people to see. And let's see, what do I want it to be? And I'm going to be very generic. I want them to see my logo. And I'm going to set this as my feature image. And then that way, and then I'm going to hit update, because this page is already published, so it gives me my update. And then this image is going to appear at the very beginning of my page whenever I come to it. And people's like, well, you got a picture up there. No, this picture now, whenever I go to social media or post it on my free ad sites, and it doesn't allow me to do a picture, this picture will show up to represent my page. So whenever and even when I go on Skype and I say, hey, read my new page, and I put in my link, when my link comes up and my title, this picture will show up with my title and my meta description. So that's why it's imperative that if you have the option to set a feature image that represents your page, do that. If not, the computer system will automatically go through and arbitrarily pick a picture from your website that matches the criteria for wherever you're posting to. And it could be a different picture every time. So that's why you want to make sure that all your pictures are relevant to your content, and even your featured image is relevant to your content. Because depending on where you market or place your ads determines on what picture you pull out or they pull out. So
can you show us where that would be, like when we preview? I'm a little, I don't understand where that feature is shown when you go.
It doesn't show. Yeah. Yeah, it won't show. That just means, like, if I go to Facebook, so I'm going to get my permalink.
Okay.
And I'm going to copy my address. And let's go to Facebook, my social media.
I guess I'm confused where that.
Oh, you're fine. And I'm going to type in. All right, and then I'm just going to add a picture, and I always put that in there. And I'm going to hit post. All right. And then I'm going to come back here. If I can find my own story. All right, so there's my story. And then I'm going to comment on my own story. All right, and then I'm going to paste. So see, that's my feature image.
Oh.
So anytime I post this on social media, this is the image I want it to come up with. And even though it's the same image I posted here, it's fine. But say I decided to choose a different image, whatever image I set as my featured image, that's what's going to show up whenever I post this link in social media.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Any other questions?
Yes, Sheila. Is the slug, your permalink, and your URL for that particular page, are they all the same or should all be the same?
Yes, your slug and your permalink should be the same.
Okay.
The only difference in your permalink is you will have your website attached to it. But your slug determines your website, your permalink.
Okay, because in Paul's webinars, he's always saying, you know, if you change your slug, you have to go back and change on a page. You have to go back and change what's on your category page.
You do if you change your slug and you've advertised it, because in your category, that's if you change your title too, and you want your title to match your slug.
And the title is, I'm just trying to get the relationship between all the slug, the permalink, and the title.
Yeah, they should all be the same. I manipulate mine. I probably shouldn't, but I do. But your slug is your title. So if you're creating a brand new page and you type your title in, when you get down to your SEO, you will notice that your slug is whatever you typed your title to be. And they are the same. The only difference is, hold on, where is it at? Is that your slug does not include punctuation. So like with mine, it's telling me that my part of my title doesn't match my slug. And that's because my title has an apostrophe S. My slug does not, because the slug does not include punctuation of any kind.
But you said you could put it in there if you wanted.
You can put it in there if you want it. I didn't. It just makes it easier. But say if depending on what my focus keyword was, say my keyword was only New Year's resolutions. And I just wanted that particular keyword. I didn't want the whole thing. Then I could literally go in here and take this out and have New Year's resolutions. Then my permalink would be New Year's resolutions, not my title. But that's something way in advance. You don't need to worry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if you are going in and you're modifying a page and you change your title, you've changed your keyword, then you most definitely have to change that slug, because that slug is going to have the old focus key phrase in it, and you need to change it to the new one. If you don't, it will give you a page not found when you go to look for it, because you've changed everything but the slug, and the slug and the free key phrase won't match. So therefore they can't find them.
Okay.
And it only happens when you have a published page and you're going to edit it. So if you, and I found this to be a little bit easier, if you're editing a page, switch it to draft first and edit it from the draft side, because then anything you change changes in your SEO.
I'm not sure I follow that. Say that again.
Okay,
please.
When we go into a page, okay, And we are in edit mode, right? This is edit where we can go in and change anything. Okay. But because it's a published page, it's already set in stone. So everything has to be manipulated. You have to manually change everything. So I found out if I come here before I do any editing and switch it to draft right here, then it's like it's a brand new page. So anything I change, so if I come here and change the title, it changes this too. Whereas if it's just in edit mode, then you manually have to come in and change it.
Okay.
So, but from, you know, just going forward, if you want to, just, you know, just know that if you change the title and change the focus key phrase, you most definitely have to change that slug because they don't match anymore.
Okay. Thank you. And I have another question that's come up in Paul's webinars where he's saying, or he's saying that Rory's saying, or he's saying that we shouldn't use the company name on our pages anymore, like Valentis and.
Well, I'm not saying so much as in the pages, but definitely not in your title. You don't need to use it in your title. You don't need to use it when you're advertising. And this is very important. I'm glad you brought this up because I actually have it in my notes and I didn't say anything about it. Please, please, please read your guidelines when you get approval or asking for approval to advertise these companies or become an affiliate with these companies. They have some strict guidelines and stipulations. And one of them is, I've yet to read any of them. And I know it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of legal stuff in there, but it's very important. And one of the things is you can't use their name for advertising. So if you're creating an ad, Valentis, wine ambassador, any of that cannot be in your ad. You can't use it in your title of your ad. You can use it in your page, but I don't recommend it because then as soon as they see the word Valentis or wine ambassador, what's to stop them from going and open up a new link and typing in Valentis and seeing what they can find out about it? That's why your page is there to let them know, hey, click on this link and let that link take them to Valentis. If you ever read, very rarely do I use their names. I always say, you know, our wine club or this great amazing coffee club, you know, or this amazing coffee or hot chocolate. I try not to use names because out of curiosity, people will go and search that word, search that name. And if they like what they read, they won't come back to your page to purchase it. They'll go to where they pulled it up on Google and searched it, not realizing that they just cost you a commission. So not saying that you can't.
So you used your link for them to get to?
Yes.
Okay. Got
yeah,
it.
Your link is fine. That's what you want. But whenever you're doing advertising, you cannot. So if I'm creating an ad on US Net Ads or on Facebook, I can't go in there and say, oh God, y'all got to try this new Valentis coffee. It's amazing. You know, automatically I did something I wasn't supposed to do because I'm not supposed to use Valentis when I'm advertising. If I put in my headline, Valentis coffee is the #1, you know, way to go, you know, and then put a description. I've already infringed on their rights because I use their trademark name in advertising. They're the only ones that can use their name in advertising. You can use coffee, you can use weight loss coffee, you can use anything but their name when you are advertising. Now, when you're writing your page, you can write it in there, but I wouldn't use it because, like I said, what's to stop somebody from seeing that word Valentis and say, well, I want to research this a little bit and type in Valentis in a Google search and pull up a Valentis website that's not yours, read what they like and like it, click and buy on the other website.
That's right. Even if you have it linked, they can still just Google a name.
Exactly. So
and yeah, the problem with that is, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I don't put anybody's name in there, but on the wine ambassador page, on our fine wine page, it's on. Wine ambassador is on that video that Rory put out, so there's no way to get that off me.
Yeah, you can't get that off.
Very well read that and Google it, you know. But Yeah, I agree with you not to put the name anywhere because they can.
Yep.
Even if you link it,
even if you want to make sure that they have the way to link. You know, click a link. And the other thing, I've been reading a lot of pages this week, and just about every page I've read, y'all have the word click here, go here. Google kind of shies away if you have that too many times in your website. Use other words. you know, you can say read more information, you know, and just leave it at that. The fact that you have not only the words highlighted, but it could be bolded, lets them know that it's different. You don't always have to use the words click here or go here. Even if you're at the very end of your page, use that button block. And on the button block, you can say visit and just leave it there, you know, or more info or something like that. Don't always use the words click here, go here, visit here. Google frowns on that because it's too advertising, if that makes any sense. So if you have that on every page that you have in your website, go back and change it a little bit. You can have it some, but broaden your verbiage a little bit, and make it stand out. If you have to bold it, if you have to put it in colors, if you have to put it by itself, or like I always do, use a phrase instead of a word. It stands out a little better, or bold that word, or put it all in caps to let people know this is different. You know, I can click on it or whatever, but you don't need to basically tell them click here on every page that you write something about. Just expand your verbiage and give them more options. It just makes it easier for Google to look in. If you have it on every page, I can promise you that if you're trying for Google AdSense, more than likely you won't get approved the first time around. I don't care how good your pages are. So you want to make sure that you give them a little bit of variety on that. That's just from my observations this week. All right, ladies, I see you, Miss Sensa.
You're awesome.
So do we have any more questions?
You're the best.
Yeah.
I love what I do. I really do.
And it shows. and it helps us, believe me. No class next week?
No class. I will be in Lakeland, Florida. I'll get down there Thursday night. I'll be there all day Friday. Be at the ball field Saturday, and I think depending on what they win or lose Sunday, we'll be traveling back Sunday. So anybody in the Lakeland area, I'll be at the Comfort Suites in Lakeland. Give me a buzz. We might get together on Friday, do some training, go over some stuff. So if you're
have
there
a good trip, Sheila.
Thank you.
And
see y'all later.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard about all the baseball scandals?
No, I'm sure my husband has.
My team, the Red Sox here, they fired the manager because they were stealing signs. And same with the Astros. Hinckley or somebody like the manager.
The first page that you come up with, look at that page and say, okay, I've read it. I don't like what this says. I can say this better. I can say this better. I can add this. That's what you do. Make that page yours. You're not Rory. You're not Paul. You're not me. You're not your instructor. You're your own self. You know how you can say things. You know how you relate to people. Put it on paper. You know, I keep saying paper, it's a computer, but to me, it's the same thing. You're putting your thoughts and your heart basically for other people to see and relate to. And there's people out there that's waiting just for your page. You might not think that, but you will develop a following. Just like any store, you all have your certain store that you go to that you know you can get your one favorite product at, or your favorite place or whatever. You want that to be your website to somebody or a bunch of somebody's. Or a group of somebody's. Do you want them to know that they can come to you or come to your website and get exactly what they need? Either it's buying a product or having a feel-good story that they can read and relate to. And that's what your website is. We promote it as a website. I promote mine as a blog. Y'all see when I went to my Facebook, I said, read my blog, read my story, because people will relate to a blog faster than they will relate to the word website. When they hear the word website, they think of buying, somebody selling me something. When they hear the word blog, they think of somebody's writing a story. You know, they're relating something, giving me an impression or you know, an opinion on something. So that's why I use, depending on where I'm advertising, depends on what lingo I use. If I'm on social media, I use the word blog. If I'm on LinkedIn, I use website because that's business people. So depending on where you advertise determines on what verbiage you want to use, and only you can determine how you want your website to be. So that's my soapbox.
Sheila?
Yes, ma'am.
What are the names of those programs that break up your video?
If you, and I have to get my other website, my other computer. One of them is, I think it's OSC. I think it is OC. Shoot, hold on a minute. Y'all got to say.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Hold on. Okay, the one that I have is called OBS Studios.
OB is in boy.
Oh, yeah. S is in Sam.
OBS Studios.
They have a paid program and a free one. I have the free one, and then there's a couple of them other ones out there. You just have to type in. Trying to think of what it is called. Can't remember how you what the function is called. If you go to Google and type in,
is it videos to, or from YouTube downloading to video or something like that?
video editor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you do video editor, then it will show you the different things that you have.
Video editor. Okay,
yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And there's a bunch of paid ones out there, and there's a bunch of free ones. And you just need to read up on them and see which ones you can use to break down YouTube. And then, like I know the OBS one, you can actually create videos. You can break down videos. You can put a video in there, and once you play a certain part, you can tell it to edit it and save that particular part to create a whole new video. So it's different things. So just depending on how you want it, and then you can save it to your own format of where you want it. Same thing with, well, even on YouTube, when you go to YouTube, you can play a certain part of it. And if you look at it, you can tell it to save at that particular point, and it will save it for you to look at for later. I don't know if you can download it from that point or how. I haven't actually looked at that, but I do know that you have the option to save it at certain intervals.
Sheila, can I say one thing about Macs? People, if there's anybody out there, Mac is very, very particular for what it brings in as far as scanning it. So I know I have a hard time trying to get it in because they, are careful of this is spam or this is, stealing. So don't give up.
Yeah. So yeah, if you go to my YouTube, so let me go here. Gotta find out where I have it. So when you go to my YouTube and you see a video that you want to use, yeah, here's there's my village back there in the back when I did my wine opening. She will not let me take it down. I finally got my tree down, but I can't take my village down. So anyway, I have to get it down.
But this is your daughter?
My granddaughter.
Oh, your granddaughter.
Yeah. She said it's her little houses. And I have, I put my 2 wine glasses up there because I'm going to do a Valentine's Day theme on this little table. And I was going to have my wine in there and do my opening in front of it for Valentine's Day. And she saw my boxes and she's like, Mama, why are these glasses in our village? They don't go there. So I told her I was going to take it down and she just cried. I was like, oh God, okay, we're not taking it down. So, but if you come to my, pull up a video, all right, hold on, I don't want to hear myself. If you right click, it gives you the option to copy different things. And depending on what program you have, you might be able to copy the embed code. And you see where it says copy video at current time, or you just copy the whole video URL and place it in your video editor and it might play it. And it should play it from the embed code. It just depends on what it is or what program you have to do. But that's where you can go and get that and try it on your video editor that you have. I'm not sure if Microsoft comes with one. I think it might come with a video editor or some type of video program if you have the Microsoft Office, and you might be able to use that one. But I know the OBS Studio has one that you can sort of go in and use it. But that's how you can go in and get the different codes and use that. I know the URL is the one that you can actually use in your website, and then the embed code is basically an HTML code. So either one of those, you need to try that when you go to use those video editors to see if you can use those.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, this has been an awesome class, and I have to sign out. And everybody, and Sheila, have a good trip and have a good day.
All right, you too, darling. Talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
I'm done. So if any